which is sustainability as a business strategy. And we will focus on how the assessment or the report can be presented, it can be prepared. First of all, let me give a little and a very brief introduction of the diploma. So we are talking about OTHM Level 7 Diploma in Environmental and Sustainability Management. This diploma has a duration of almost a year, and it has a total credit value of 120 credits. By the end of the diploma, the learners would either be credited as pass or fail. So we have a total of about 6 units, out of which 4 are mandatory units, and you have to choose 2 out of the 5 optional units. Most of the learners chose the unit number 6 and 9. However, the other units have also been chosen. But the unit number 6 and 9 were covered in the training sessions. Today is the last class of the diploma on environmental and sustainability management. In the last Friday, we talked about this unit in very detail. The trainer talked about different aspects related to sustainability as a business strategy. She talked about how sustainability is not just a social aspect related topic. It is not just limited to environment. It is not just limited to ecology. It is not limited to society. However, sustainability is the kind of a topic which needs to be used by businesses in the 21st century. And it is the need of the time that businesses now consider sustainability as a mandatory topic, as sustainability as a mandatory approach, without which businesses cannot succeed in a holistic manner in the 21st century. So sustainability is now being increasingly used by businesses around the world. Leading organizations are using sustainability as a very successful approach in order to inculcate that into its initiatives, into its programs, into its policies and procedures, so that in addition to profit maximization, the environment can also be improved. In addition to having money making, the ecological benefits can also be drawn. So talking about this unit, which is unit number 9, sustainability as a business strategy, we in very simple words can say that we want to push businesses into having sustainability as an important pillar, as an important part of their initiatives and programs. We want to promote sustainability as an initiative that cannot be ignored at any cost. And if businesses in 21st century are ignoring sustainability, they're making a huge mistake. Therefore, it is the need of the time that businesses inculcate sustainability and sustainable development goals and ecological gains and benefits in their strategies. And the fact that organizations are doing that in this era is going to lead to better benefits for them. But organizations that are still ignoring sustainability are very likely to be facing bashing on part of the customers and the society and the community, because the community is becoming very much aware of what is happening around them when it comes to sustainability. So the aims of unit number 9, we will see how unit number 9 is revolving around certain aims and learning outcomes. Unit number 9, as the name depicts, talks about how sustainability and businesses are going hand in hand. We say that because of certain environmental problems and degradations happening in the world, because of environmental challenges that we are facing nowadays, because of climate change, global warming, greenhouse gas emissions, because of the depletion of resources, because of biodiversity issues, and so much more related to the environment. The kind of environmental problems that we are facing today are impacting not just the environment primarily, but are also impacting the businesses. And this is a very alarming situation. So we need to see in unit number 9 how businesses in 21st century are being impacted because of the environmental challenges, and how their value chains, which talk about how different products and services are prepared, starting from the production stage, going to the very end stage of consumption, and finally the stage of disposal, how the businesses and their value chains are being impacted because of the environmental problems. So this can be said that organizations that still think in 21st century that they can ignore environment and sustainability and still go on having the best business are wrong. They're wrong on so many levels. So businesses need to understand that if a forest is being impacted, if the species are being impacted, if there's pollution happening around them, if there's so many more greenhouse gas emission related problems around them, they are also going to be impacted. The kind of business that they have, the kind of market that they have, the kind of profit generation that they have will also be impacted. We will see how those businesses that want to flourish, having a very holistic and want to have a very complete approach towards environment, can have certain sustainable strategies. They can have some really complete initiatives that talk about sustainable development SDGs, and how those sustainability related problems, how those sustainability related programs and procedures can benefit businesses in return. So we are not just talking about businesses giving and giving all the time for the environmental goals. We are saying that businesses that work towards environmental goals will be impacted in a very positive manner in return. So once they give, they will also be getting something in return. So sustainability is the kind of an effort that will benefit your business in the long run as well as short run. So for doing that, if you want to work for sustainability, you will have to collaborate. You will have to join hands. You will have to meet so many people. You will have to get together with so many people. You will have to run certain campaigns. So you will have to collaborate and partner with NGOs and stakeholders for what? For sustainability. You need to have a very common vision. And what is that vision about? For the solution of environmental challenges and to have sustainable businesses. How you can have certain innovative solutions for having profit as well as economic good, as well as environmental good and social good at the same time. For that, you will partner with so many others. You will partner with NGOs and stakeholders and communities and governmental bodies as well. Talking about all of those aims, in which we said that businesses now need to change their approaches. They need to be more sustainable. They need to have more collaborations. They need to have more strategies and initiatives. They need to have visions and innovative solutions that work towards the common good related to environment. And why is all of this so important? Because this is not just important for businesses, this is increasingly and hugely related to how environmental and social challenges can be solved. So in the report related to unit number 9, there is a scenario provided. The scenario says that there is a list of certain organizations which are multinational business organizations that have been provided under the list that Dow Jones provides. Now, what is Dow Jones? Dow Jones is basically a stock uh, agency that has a list of certain organizations that are successful when it comes to their approaches. So this company has hired you as an intern. You are a PR intern, and you have to talk about certain sustainability initiatives that this company already might have. And if it does not have those initiatives, how you can provide certain recommendations and suggestions on the how the company can have better sustainability initiatives in the future, and how those initiatives will lead to so many benefits for the environment. It will lead to carbon emission reductions. It will lead to the company having better energy systems. It will lead to the company having better transformation and better shift towards renewable and more green and clean sources of energy. So you will have to publish a policy review. You are an intern who has to publish a policy review. For who? The policy review is for that organization that has hired you. Okay, you have to talk about how the company can use certain carbon emission policies, how carbon emission reduction policies can be used, how the company can have better sustainability efforts, and how the company's efforts, the company's sustainability efforts can be aligned with international as well as national policies. So we're saying that the present national and international policies that are there in that specific country where the organization is working. Or when we say that it is an international organization, it might be working in more than one countries. So we say that that the national or international policies that those regions or countries or continents have can be used for polishing the sustainability effort of this organization. How the organization can partner for having a greater impact, because obviously a whole is greater than the sum of its parts. When one person is working towards something, the impact will be less. However, when more than one people, when more than one organizations, when more than one industries join their hands, they come together, they partner together, the impact of their actions, the impact of their initiatives, the impact of their strategies and policies will obviously be greater. This is what the organization wants for itself. The policy review that will be published by you will also be covering certain aspects in which you will tell the organization how it can become a part of the already existing international policies that are working towards global transition. And why are they working? What are they working for? They're working for low carbon economies in the world. We need to have low carbon economies everywhere. Our countries, our regions, our trade organizations, our businesses, our individual organizations, our NGOs, every single entity needs to have low carbon economies. It needs to have low carbon working so that the amount of carbon emission in the world can be reduced. The company also wants you to talk about how the company can have social equity as well as environmental stewardship. What does it want? It wants to not just work towards its business goals. The organization not just wants to work towards the low carbon goals. It not just wants to work for environmental betterment, but the organization also wants to promote social goals, to promote social equity and environmental benefits, obviously. So we can say that this organization is aiming towards a very holistic approach. So, we know that sustainability talks about society, it talks about economy, it talks about environment, it talks about the human. All of these four aspects are the pillars or the bottom of sustainability. And even one of these factors is disturbed, sustainability goals will be disturbed. So the organization wants to have a holistic approach towards sustainability. So basically, the organization is honestly waking up. It wants to improve its sustainability level. It wants to improve its sustainability. It wants to improve its sustainability efforts and wants to become a better organization, the one that is working for ecological benefits as well. So talking about the report, now we will start with the first learning outcome or the first assessment criteria in which you were asked questions, you have been questioned to talk about what effective corporate sustainability is. You're also being asked to talk about the triple bottom line approach and also to talk about the 4, 5, and 6 capitals. So now let me break it down for you. First of all, we will talk about what effective corporate sustainability is. We all know what sustainability is. We all know what corporate is. Now, when we join businesses with sustainability, then this specific term comes together. We talk about corporate, we talk about entrepreneurship, we want to talk about enterprises, we want to talk about businesses, and on the other hand we also want to talk about sustainability, and then we want both of these to go together hand in hand. So when we join the businesses with sustainability, it is called corporate sustainability. So what is corporate sustainability? What are the different elements that it has? Those elements are the same as the triple bottom line approach. So I will be talking about both of these together. So the triple bottom line means that there are 3 things that cannot be ignored when it comes to sustainability or corporate sustainability. We say that the people, the planet, the profit, the three P's. The three P's need to be focused on if you want to have a sustainable corporate approach. If you want to talk about sustainability in the best of manners, then you need to focus on people plus the planet plus the profit. If any one of these is ignored, you will have to face consequences. So we need to have all of these together for the best of the future for us and for the coming generations. Now, talking about what the four, five, and six capitals are. So in this questions, you will have to talk about just the four, five, and six capitals. Actually, there are six capitals in total: one, two, three, four, five, and six. But we have been questioned for the last three only. What are the capitals? So we, if anybody who works in the sector of economy, if any student who has studied economics would know that when we talk about the capitals, we mean shares and stocks and money and investments. That is when we may, that is what we mean by the term stocks and capitals. But when we talk about sustainability, every definition needs to be molded a little. So we will be molding the definition of the capitals a little. So when we talk about corporate sustainability, or when we talk about sustainability, when we talk about sustainable development goals, when we talk about environmental and sustainability governance, we have three important capitals that cannot be ignored. The first capital is number four, which talks about nature. It says that businesses can benefit from the nature, it can benefit from the environment for its goals, but in return it will have to give something to the nature as well. And when both of these are going in a balance, both of these are going in an equitable manner, the sustainability efforts will be in the best way. Then we talk about the fifth capital. When we talk about the fifth capital, it says that human are an important pillar of the building of corporate sustainability. And organizations that have human resources, the human capital, the employees, the community, the social media workers, and anybody related to this capital, if you have all of these on board, your corporate sustainability will be managed in the best manner. Next, talking about the sixth capital says that we need to focus as society. We need to focus on social and relationships between people, between communities, between religions, different ethnic minorities, between different parties, different people. Different people need to work together for corporate sustainability. Now, talking about the second assessment criteria, which wants us to talk about the rationales of sustainability. When we talk about the rationales, we mean the four pillars of sustainability, the four basics or fundamentals of sustainability. For example, whenever we have a building, when we are building a house, when we are erecting a building, we need to have a solid foundation to it. Only then the building can be strong and it can be strengthened. Similarly, the building of sustainability can only be strengthened. It can only be kept strengthened for the longest of time if these four pillars are there, and they are there in the most balanced of manners. So we say that our society, economy, environment, and human, all of these need to be managed when we talk about sustainability. And the businesses or the corporate organizations that are working on all four of these will be drawing maximum benefits for themselves. They will be recognized as highly sustainable organizations. And these four pillars do not just benefit the people, do not just benefit the environment, but it also benefits the businesses. Therefore, businesses need to have corporate sustainability that has all of these four pillars. The next assessment criteria wants us to talk about how sustainability and corporate social responsibility can be used by businesses and can be impacted, how businesses can be impacted in their agenda by these specific factors. So we say that the companies can be getting some really holistic benefits. Their operationalization can be benefited. How they have certain innovative agendas, they have innovations, they have certain ideas coming to their brains, can be impacted, leading to benefits for the organization. Again, how they will be following certain regulations and regulatory compliances, and how the governmental bodies and certain standardizations and certain treaties and organizations, for example, COP and so on, are being followed by that organization. And as a result, that organization will be recognized and it will be appreciated for its regulatory compliance, for how it has been following those certain rules and regulations, and how these organizations that are able to work on sustainability and corporate social responsibility are able to deal with their risks, are able to mitigate their risks, and able to mitigate as well as adapt to their risks in the most wholesome manner. The next assessment criteria says that, for example, there's an organization that has finally decided to have a sustainable approach. The one that has finally decided to work on all the three P's, on planet, on people, on profit maximization. Will that organization be facing certain problems or not? Will that organization have to go through challenges or not? The answer is obviously it will have to face certain challenges. So it will be impacted in terms of its strategies, operational challenges, financial challenges, and it will also be impacted when it comes to finances, because it will not be provided fundings a lot. Because we know that sustainability is honestly the most important aspect, the most important topic that we need to cover in the 21st century, but we still have a very incomplete and a very broken sort of an approach towards it. So we are just in the very starting phase. We are just beginning to take a flight. The people working towards the environment and sustainability are doing the efforts to the maximum, but those efforts still need to be strengthened a lot. There's a lot more that needs to be done when it comes to sustainability and SDGs. Therefore, similarly, economic bodies or financial bodies do not provide fundings to organizations that are working just for the environment. So they will have to take lots and lots of convincing. In addition to that, the people are not aware of sustainability. The stakeholders are not aware of sustainability, and they might have certain problems. They might say that, what do I get out of your environmental initiatives? What do I get if your organization is getting sustainable? So you will have to convince them a lot. Next, talking about competitive issues, we say that organizations that are working for sustainability might have to face a lot of competition. And we know that we have treaties and standards and environmental bodies and international communities, but still the amount of standardization that we need is not enough. The next assessment criteria talks about how sustainability can bring benefits in the long term as well as the short term. So in the last few assessment criteria, I have been talking about this repeatedly, that sustainability is not just beneficial for the environment or the society, it is beneficial for you as a business as well. So you can improve your efficiency and productivity by being sustainable. You can recruit and retain people by telling them that you have greener goals for the future, through which they can be impressed. And then the consumers will be focusing more on your organization. They might be buying more from your organization because people are learning about environmental organizations. People are learning about sustainability and SDGs, and the awareness is very slow, but it's definitely increasing. So your clients might be impressed by you. You can have better innovation and competitive advantage that can bring the biggest benefits for your sustainable business. Now, what is value chain and how sustainability can benefit the value chain of a business? Just like I talked about earlier, a value chain is how you will be producing certain products or services as a part of your business. How? For example, you have a textile industry, how you are extracting cotton from the farms, how you're processing that cotton, cleaning it, and so on, how you're manufacturing the fabric, how it is being retailed, how it is being sold in the market, or it is being sold as a wholesale, and then how it is being bought by the consumers, how they are wearing that fabric, how they're wearing clothes made out of that fabric, and then eventually when the consumers are being done with that fabric, they will be disposing it off, or some of them might be recycling it. For example, when a consumer is done with his denim jeans and he does not want to wear it anymore, he might be making a bag out of it, which is one of the best recycling approaches. Or we can also be reusing. For example, you can donate those clothes to a poor person, so that person will be reusing that. However, at the very end of the value chain, the things need to be to be disposed of. This is what the value chain is. So by having sustainable activities, by having sustainable primary activities, which are always there, a value chain is always about production, it is always about outputs, it is always about marketing and sales and customer services. However, by adding certain sustainable secondary activities, you can have a sustainable value chain. How you can convert your value chain from a simple value chain into a sustainable value chain, by having certain secondary activities added, and those activities need to be sustainable secondary activities. For example, an organization can have better developments, better technological processes, better sustainable innovative processes, how it can manage its human resources in a more sustainable manner, and how the infrastructure, the kind of a building that it has, the kind of machinery that it has, the kind of processes it has been using, need to be converted into more sustainable processes, as a result of which your value chain can be maximized, it can be improved, it can be optimized to become a sustainable value chain. It is not a plain value chain anymore. So this value chain will be leading to not just benefit for the environment, but for your business as well. So your business can draw sustainable margin out of this effort. The next assessment criteria talks about this one concept called total impact measurement and management. So this is a concept that is focusing on impacts related to your business. It says that when you start talking about the impacts related to your business, please do not ignore that those impacts need to be considered in a very total, in a very holistic manner. Every single impact, every single externality related to your business needs to be taken into consideration. None of the factors need to be ignored, because even if one of the factors is ignored, it might lead to humongous impact on the environment, and that is not something you want. Number two, when we talk about how the impacts are, we say that every single aspect related to your business needs to have its impacts considered. You need to have your eyes, you need to have your focus and attention on every single aspect related to your organization. And then you need to measure, you need to calculate and count every aspect that you have, every impact related to it, and the externalities it has on the environment and the society. And then you need to manage those. After you are done calculating those, after you are done measuring those, what do you do at the very end, which is very important? You mitigate and manage and deal with those impacts. The next assessment criteria says how, um, if an organization is measuring its impact, but it is measuring its impact in a holistic manner, how will it be benefited? How it can be benefited in terms of its cost and benefits? We say that if you are working in a very complete manner, You have your stakeholders on board. You and measuring and quantifying, calculating and counting every single externality. You're not ignoring any one of those. You're working in not just a very small approach. You are not just you're limiting yourself to one factor, but you are focusing on the long term perspectives of your activities and processes and businesses that you have. And then you're also joining hands and partnering with NGOs and stakeholders. You're having a lot of collaboration and transparency. The costs related to processes can be reduced, and the benefits related to processes can be enhanced. Now we say that we have been talking about different impacts. We have been talking about how businesses need to have sustainable initiatives, how businesses and corporate organizations need to be more sustainable. But there's one important aspect which is also very much related to this, which is called sustainability reporting. So we say that organizations need to be sustainable, but then they also need to report the amount of sustainability that they have, the amount of sustainability initiatives that they have need to be reported, need to be published and publicized and communicated to who? To governmental bodies, to customers, to people, for example, the employees, the media, the regulatory bodies, the social workers, the investors, the government, and any single body that might be associated with that business organizations has the right to get up, to stand up and ask the organization to report and tell how its sustainability has been going. If the organization has been successful when it comes to its SDGs, or has it failed? So every single thing needs to be very transparent and very clear, and it needs to be communicated to all the single organization, all the people who are in connection with you, all the stakeholders who are going to be impacted, all the partners, all the investors, all the bodies that are there in connection with you have the right to get up and ask about your sustainability reporting. So, what basically forces your sustainability reporting are these drivers that I just talked about: the customers, the media, the owners, the employees, and so on. The assessment criteria number 4.1 says that the organizations are still focusing on non-renewable resources of energy such as coal, oil, and gas. And they are still wasting those resources. They are still drawing those resources out of the environment and using them for their processes. But what are the challenges that those organizations are facing when it comes to accessing those resources? Are there any problems that they're facing or not? So we say that those organizations are facing the challenge of depletion. For example, if an organization was drawing a lot of coal for its activities in the 20th century, it will not be able to draw the same amount and same tons of coal anymore. Why? Because the coal is coming to an end. It is depleting. It is just finishing from the world, which is what we talk about, which is what the environmentalists talk about all the time, that these non-renewable resources need to be we need to stop using these. Why? Because these are going to be depleted, and we will have to just face their scarcity and depletion. Therefore, the organizations are facing the challenge of depletion. At the same time, the organizations also, a lot of businesses present in many countries are facing geopolitical instabilities. And then there is unequal capital supply because of the increasing economic volatilities. There are social and ethical considerations, and most importantly, the environmental considerations, which what the environmentalists talk about, that we need to stop using coal, oil, and gas for a sustainable future. If we don't do that, our next coming generations will have to face a lot of consequences. So we need to stop doing that. And then there are certain infrastructure challenges as well. A lot of those challenges that I've talked about are not just limited to the 21st century. These problems have been there since centuries and decades, but are getting extreme as of now. We are in 2024, and the problems related to the access to non-renewable resources of energy are getting huge. The next assessment criteria talks about a concept called resource use and recovery. So just like I said in the assessment criteria number 4.1, that because we have depletable resources of energy that are non-renewable resources of energy, and that are again the non-clean or the dirty resources of energy such as coal, oil, and gas. So we need to stop using them. First of all, if they have been removed to the environment, what we can do is that we can reduce their use. How we can resource their use, how we can reuse them again and again. But if there's no option left, we can recycle those, we can recover those, or return them back to the environment in terms of the waste. However, the waste hierarchy says that if there is waste, first of all, you need to be very much aware of the waste that your business is producing, or the waste that your activity is producing. First of all, you need to prevent it as much as possible. But if you don't have any other option left, you need to reduce the amount of waste that you have, or if you can reuse that waste, please do that. If you can recycle it, please do that. But no, if any one of these approaches is not possible, you can recover it, but ultimately it will have to be disposed of and it will have to go back in the environment. But what's important to circularity is that we keep the waste inside the environment, inside the cycle, as longer as possible, but as the very end it will have to be disposed of to the environment. When we talk about the true cost of waste, we say that what we see is just the tip of the iceberg, but what we don't see related to the waste maximization or waste reduction is actually hidden. There is so much that goes in the waste management as well. You need to have lots and lots of energy. You need to have lots and lots of raw materials. A lot of labor is required. A lot of people will have to do that. You will have to put your time and effort and production capacity into it. And as a result, you will be losing a lot of profit. Now, which is like the hidden costs of waste. So when we talk about food waste, for example, it has been said that we just don't waste a meal. We waste all the water that was used for it. We waste all the energy that was used for its production. We waste all the resources that were used for the production of that food. So we are not just wasting the food, we're also wasting the energy, time, and effort that was invested in the production of that food. Next come the concept of circular economy. So throughout the Diploma of Environmental Sustainability Management, we have been talking about the concept of circular economy over and over again. So at this point, it has almost become a buzzword. So I wouldn't go into a lot of detail of it, but I will say that circular economy is basically driven by just a few concepts, just a few promises that circular economy makes. For example, it says that you need to work towards waste reduction. You need to work towards the regeneration or reuse of natural systems. And then by the end, you need to focus on how the waste or any product for that matter, or any specific activity for that matter, needs to be kept inside the system for as long as possible, as long as you can. When we talk about circular economy, there's another concept called circular economy. Circular economy is related to circular economy business models, which say that first of all, you need to be very much aware or careful about the designs that you have for the product manufacturing and how your product is being manufactured. You need to be very much aware of that. How green is the production and manufacturing process? And then how the transportation and the distribution of that product or service will be done, and then how the consumption of it on the consumer level is being done. Afterwards, what you can do for circularity is that you can repair or reuse those products for as much as possible. As a result of which, at least some of the waste will have to go back into the environment. It will be wasted. It will be going back into the environment in the form of residual waste. But there might be some parts of that product that can be recycled by you or by greener businesses, as a result of which it can once again become a raw material for another activity, and the process goes on. So this means that once when something was a waste for you, it might become an ingredient or a raw material for another business. Therefore, we need to be very much aware and careful of what waste we are producing, how much we are producing, and if by any chance it can be used by another organization or another business. So we need to partner with those businesses and provide that waste in the form of a raw material to it. But if there's no chance of that, it will have to go back into the environment. So circularity has certain risks as well. The circular business model, why is it not becoming 100% success? Because of the financial issues, because of the partnership issues, because of how the complexity related to this concept is there. This sounds like a very easy concept, but it is not. It takes a lot of complexity, a lot of functioning, and a lot of working for your organization to move from linear economy to circular economy. And then the supply chain maximization, the value chain collaboration is also one of the biggest tasks at your hand, which once satisfied is going to be in your favor. But for that, you will have to do lots and lots of working. Now we say that organizations that want to become sustainable, businesses that want to become sustainable, needs to have suitable communication strategies. Their reporting, their communication, their publication needs to be maximum, so that their stakeholders are aware of, their stakeholders are enlightened with, their stakeholders are kept in confidence with every single activity and every single step that the business is going to take for its circularity, for its sustainability, or for its corporate social responsibility. So how can you bring those stakeholders on board? How those stakeholders can be brought together, how you can talk to them, how you can communicate to them in the best possible manner. So what you can do is that for the internal stakeholders that you have, for example, the employees, the managers, all the workers that you can have educational programs, you can have workshops, you can have newsletters published for talking to customers, for sustainability reporting, for sustainability communication. You can use the media for yourself. You can clearly inform the customers, and you can publish, you can basically use and advertise and market engaging content that can be used to talk to customers, to tell them what has been going on in the organization lately. And then for talking to investors and suppliers, you can have your sustainability reports published in proper reports. You can have meetings and webinars, you can have workshops, and you can basically provide guidelines to them. And then audits can also be done. Environmental audits can be done for providing information to your stakeholders, and how community can be engaged along with the government, how the government can be communicated through the partnerships and regulatory compliance reports on your sustainability initiatives. The next assessment criteria, 5.2 and 5.3, I have basically combined both of these, and I think these are one of the most I mean, interesting concepts related to corporate social responsibility or related to sustainability as a business strategy. So, one of these is cause related marketing. So, we know what marketing is, we know what advertising is, we know how companies use marketing essentially for promoting their businesses, for reaching more customers, for better sales, for better profits. But talking about cause related marketing, it means that for a certain cause you will have to shake your hands with other organizations or other causes. You will have to talk to other NGOs or partner with other stakeholders for certain causes. And what are the causes? The causes are related to some social cause that you might have, some environmental issue that you want to talk about. For example, when you look at this icon, you see that an organization is partnering with another organization to work on recycling, to maybe work on biodiversity protection, to work on the social equity, to work on providing better lifestyles for people, to work on environmental betterment, for profit maximization, for better manufacturing, for other processes. So the cause could be anything. What you want to do for cause related marketing is that you are using certain marketing strategies for your business so that certain causes and certain solutions related to the society or environment can be promoted. For example, looking at this picture here, so there's this cosmetic organization, there is makeup related brand or chain called Estee Lauder, which basically used this pink color campaign. So every single cosmetic product for that organization, their bags, their vanities, different products that they had were basically given a pink color. And what does this pink color depict? It depicts breast cancer awareness. So the organization partnered with another organization, which was a health related organization that was working for breast cancer awareness. It said that we need to work on awareing people on how breast cancer can be avoided in the community and how better health related facilities can be provided to the women who suffer breast cancer. Similarly, another approach is social marketing campaigns. So this is, please remember that social marketing campaigns is different from social media marketing. By social media marketing, we mean that we are using certain social media platforms. We're using Instagram, we're using Meta, we're using WhatsApp, we're using X, we're using any of these Instagram related or any of these social media platforms for marketing a product or for selling our product or for promoting our product. But the difference from that is that social marketing campaigns basically are working for a social cause or working towards an environmental cause. Okay. For example, this billboard here by an organization says, by a business which is saying that overspeeding is not in your favor. Tailgating is not in your favor. What might it lead to? It might lead to accidents. It might lead to deaths. It might lead to so many problems for yourself. Therefore, you need to avoid tailgating and overspeeding for your own benefits. So, what the organization is doing is that it is promoting its cars, it is promoting its agenda, it is promoting its product, but it is also taking the pain of working on a social cause or an environmental cause. So the cause here is to aware is to basically promote this thought among the people that overspeeding and tailgating is not in your favor. Similarly, talking about this head and shoulders related campaign here. So the campaign says, I don't want forest destruction in my shower. What does it mean? It means that the organization Greenpeace, it is an environmental organization, it found out that Head and Shoulders, which is a very, very famous international shampoo selling organization, shampoo selling industry, has been using the palm oil in its shampoos, how it is using palm oil as an ingredient, and that palm oil is coming from Indonesia. And for obtaining that palm oil, the organization is committing deforestation. The forests are being cleared. the biodiversity is being impacted. The trees are being cut. For what? For obtaining palm oil. And that palm oil is being used for creating this shampoo called Head and Shoulders. Even though it is one of the most promising and famous shampoos in the world, but the organization Greenpeace said that the company Head and Shoulders is leading to deforestation and forest destruction. Therefore, it needs to come up and talk about this initiative and demote this initiative as soon as possible. The next is that we want to work on how different segments related to sustainability can be in the market. So we say that the market has many segments related to sustainability. What are those segments? What are those sections? What are those parts of the market? So we say that the market can be divided based on a few questions. For example, we see, where do I need to market? Where does the business need to market? Who does the business need to market to? How does the business need to market? And why does the business need to market its sustainability initiatives? Once the organization has answered these questions for itself, its marketing related to sustainability can become highly successful. Talking about the last two assessment criteria, 5.5 and 5.6, it says how businesses that want to work towards sustainability and environmental benefits can constructively collaborate with NGOs and stakeholders. So I have been talking about this one point since the very beginning of the presentation. So I said that an organization cannot work in a wholesome manner if it has not joined hand with the appropriate associates. The organization can maximize its activities related to sustainability if it collaborates with NGOs and stakeholders. It identifies its goals. It basically puts down the goals that it has for the organization. They talk about it, they sit together, they brainstorm, they mind map, and they say that this and this is the goal that we have for sustainability. How the organization needs to very much communicate its goals side by side in a very transparent manner to its NGOs, share its resources with them, and then partner with them, collaborate with them to do what? To assess their impact, to assess their activities, to assess the externalities related to their activities, and then work towards sustainability while working on their business goals. For example, WWF and Coca-Cola are two organizations that once partnered with each other. They collaborated with each other on one project. So they basically said that they need to work towards the protection of Arctic bears, Arctic bears within the biodiversity. Their species need to be protected because their species is getting extinct. The number of Arctic bears that we have in the world today are very, very much less. Therefore, Coca-Cola and WWF partner together for this cause of protecting the Arctic bears, which is visible in the form of this marketing approach, that they have these bears published on their bottles and cans, so that the people can be informed of the importance of protecting the Arctic bears, how the activities and every single anthropogenic process that we have is going to ultimately lead to impacts on these animals, on every single animal or every single species, every single biodiversity. So when we talk about the submission of this assessment or the report on unit number 9, so you will have to write 4,500 words on it in the form of a word essay. And then you will have to use Harvard citation for it, which needs to be in-text citation, as well as the citation that is provided in the form of references at the very end of the document. With this, my dear learners, we come to the end of the session, and not just the session. It makes me really emotional to say that we have come to the end of the Diploma on Environmental Sustainability and Management, OTHM Level 7. This was the last of the sessions. I hope whatever endeavors, whatever plans you have for the future are the best in your favor, and they might lead to the best of goals for yourself and for every single plan that you have in your minds. Good luck with your future endeavors. And I would like to just say a few words before I end this session, that keep working towards the goal you have. Always remember that sustainability starts from our own individual levels, from our own personalities, and it is always just about a few drops coming together to make an entire ocean. So every single effort that we have matters. Please do not ignore the fact that every single step that you take towards the environmental betterment is going to ultimately lead um, to something positive for the environment. And this is what we want eventually. This is all that we want. This is what the environmentalists want, because we are environmental scientists. We are working towards sustainability goals, and our goals need to be in harmony with every single part, every single sector of our lives, be it our individual lives, be it our private lives, be it our homes, our corporate lives, the lives that we have when it comes to our industries, the lives that we have when it comes to our education, or when it comes to providing awareness to people around us. Please never stop working for the environment and sustainability, because eventually, inshallah, we are going to succeed. Because this level of environmental deterioration that we have reached is immense, obviously. But once we start working, once we keep continuously and consistently working towards this goal, the success is all ours, inshallah. Thank you so much for attending the session. Um, I'm glad to end this presentation, because your diploma will be finished. And thank you so much for attending all the sessions, everybody, because it was not just beneficial for you, but for the trainers as well, for all the cooperative and interactive sessions that we have. Thank you so much for attending. Good luck with the preparation of your assessments. Good luck with your results and exam criteria. Thank you so much for attending, everybody. Allah Hafiz. Good luck.